Thank you for joining us on Let's Talk Tobago, the program that keeps you informed about the plans and initiatives of the Tobago House of Assembly and the impact that these have on you. In our stories this week, Tobago Olympians receive over $500,000 in gifts from the THA. Minister Jack Warner looks into the issue of the construction of 2 new police stations in Tobago. Tobago to host Bangladeshi cricketers as part of independence celebrations. Cove Eco Park says it is not responsible for power outages in Tobago. And military youth program changing the lives of young males at risk. Don't forget to check out our new segment with Lois Vincent, Have Your Say, coming up later in the program. And you can now send us your comments to information@tha.gov.tt or visit us at www.tha.gov.tt. See the bottom of your screen for more contact details. Stay with us. We'll have these and more stories after the break.
The Tobago House of Assembly invites you to celebrate 50 years of independence on Friday, 31st August with a military parade starting at the Dwight York Stadium from 8 a.m. The parade will then head towards Scarborough, ending at Gardenside Car Park. Look out for the Chief Secretary's Independence Day address at 6:30 a.m. and fireworks at 8 p.m.
Welcome back. I'm sure you've noticed that this week we're back in studio because of the inclement weather on the outside. In our stories, she survived an aneurysm and has lived to see her grandson create history by becoming the 3rd fastest 400-meter runner in the world. Speaking at a reception held in honor of Olympian bronze medalist Lalon Gordon, grandmother Yvonne Gordon shared some of Lalon's childhood memories.
From a baby, Lalon had some kind of potential about running because he used to walk on his toes. He never put his feet down. He used to be on the toes all the time, even after his first birthday. So when he looked and he saw all the other children in the party running and they put flat, he decided that was the day he put it down and started walking. So like he had running in his mind.
Mrs. Gordon shared how elated she felt to still be alive after doctors thought she would not have lived much longer.
Very proud of him, and as I say, I thank God that he spared my life to see this day. Because both Lalon and myself make history. I didn't run, he did, but I had a trial time. I'm just recovering from a surgery where the doctor told me my aneurysm was the largest in the world. So they didn't even expect me to make it. But God had plans.
It was revealed that Lalonde will receive $300,000, $50,000 reimbursement for family expenses to London, and a plot of land. The reception was held at the Coco Cafe and attended by THA officials and the family and friends of the Olympians. Unfortunately, Lalonde was noticeably absent as he was held up on a motorcade organized by the government on the same day. However, we also had the opportunity to chat with Lalonde's older brother, OJ.
Lalonde have mixed emotions. Lalonde a person sometimes, when you don't want to be bothered, don't bother him. But when Lalonde ready, he's a good person to have fun with. Like you'll come down and say, OJ, I want to do something fun. And I'll be like, enough for that. And you'll be like, you're getting old, boy. But he's a fun person. If you know him, you'll always have fun with him.
The occasion also saw the distribution of congratulatory gifts to the Tobago Olympians for their sterling performance at the Games. Secretary of Education Whitney Alfred encouraged the youths to emulate the Olympians.
I would like our young people, especially those who are here present tonight, to emulate our Lalon Gordon and Keishan Walcott and all the other athletes in terms of the discipline, in terms of their stick-to-itiveness that they displayed in reaching their goal.
In making his address, Chief Secretary of London said he had a message for Lalonde.
And I want to pass on a message to Lalonde that his journey has entered a new phase, but he must remain steadfast to those qualities that carried him through the first leg of that journey. Because Lalonde has to understand, and all the other athletes have to understand, that they have changed the benchmark by which they are going to be judged. and which they have to judge themselves.
Mr. London also warned the athletes against getting too caught up in present accolades and not focusing on getting better.
If they have to continue to make Trinidad and Tobago proud, they have got to forget the accolades. They have got to forget the praise. They have got to forget the adulation and focus on what got them there in the first place. And I know that they have the capacity to do so, and I have every confidence that they will.
The other Olympians were not left out and received the following gifts. Kellyanne Batiste and Simoy Hackett, $150,000 each. Josanne Lucas and Rennie Kwao, $50,000 each, and immediate assessment of their rehabilitation needs with a view to providing assistance. Finance Secretary Dr. Ansam London addresses the issue of the 2 police stations to be built in Tobago at the most recent post-executive media briefing. Recent reports stated that Tobago appeared to have been left out of plans for new police stations in the country. However, Dr. London indicated that Minister Jack Warner has acknowledged that contracts were issued for both the Roxborough and Grange stations.
The minister has since replied, acknowledging the fact that contracts were previously issued for both Roxborough and for Old Grange. And I think it's important that this information gets into the public domain, because what it does, it confirms Tobago's or the Tobago House of Assembly's position that while work had proceeded to a level where those police stations should have been started, it is the government of Trinidad and Tobago that in fact pulled back on the contracts, and why today that these buildings have not been started, let alone completed.
Meanwhile, as Independence Day draws closer, the activities start increasing. Tobago gets ready to welcome Bangladeshi cricketers. Assistant Secretary Huey Cadet made the announcement at the press briefing.
As part of the 50th anniversary of our independence, there are a number of activities that will be hosted by the Department of Sport, and they include either in conjunction with the central government or with a number of other stakeholders. The first of which is a match, a T20 match that will involve a Tobago 11 and the Bangladesh national T20 team who is preparing for the T20 World Cup. And this match is carded for Wednesday, 5th September. It has been done, of course, in collaboration with the Cricket Association in Tobago and All Sport Promotion. And we'll see, of course, the Bangladeshis here in preparation for their T20 World Cup campaign. They will play a match here along with 1 or 2 matches in Trinidad.
Cove Eco Park Management is not responsible for power outages in Tobago. In a press release from E-IDCOT, the company managing Cove, it has strongly denied any responsibility for the recent spate of power outages on the island. The release clearly states that TNTech is only a tenant at the park and is solely accountable and responsible for the provision of electricity to Tobago. This wasn't the type of tattoo where you might be thinking of the latest design, pattern, or even tribal mark, nor was it an occasion to lap up some good bushmeat. Concorabia Spear and Drum. It was the first of 5 military tattoos to be held across the nation. Put on by the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, Protective Services, and other voluntary organizations, patrons at Roxborough St. Grey Complex and the Scarborough Esplanade were treated to an evening of soca, bagpipes, gun drills, and fireworks. As part of the country's 50th anniversary celebrations, there were also military contributions from England, USA, Canada, and Jamaica. Chief Secretary of London said while being self-reliant is important, there is also need for meaningful relationships.
I want us to leave here with the recognition and the knowledge that we must be self-reliant, but that we must also be aware that there is need for cooperation both at the regional and international level. And there is need for meaningful relationships among all the peoples in Trinidad and Tobago, in the Caribbean, and in the wider world.
The crowds were entertained as these military men and women marched, danced and showcased their musical abilities, all in the name of fun and excitement. Let's see what they had to offer. Like Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica also celebrates 50 years of independence this year. We had the chance to catch up with one of the lieutenants.
Indeed an honor when we were invited to participate in Trinidad and Tobago's military tattoo. As you know, we had ours last month and we also invited Trinidad, so we are happy that that same sentiment could have been reciprocated. What do I think of Tobago? I like that it has maintained most of its flora and fauna and has not become a little bit too commercialized.
It was very nice. It is good to see that, other countries coming together, and as well as Trinidad and outside, and it was lovely.
It was great. Very exciting. If you didn't come, you missed something.
It was excellent, miss. I was a bit late, but wherever I see was excellent.
It was fantastic.
His business was broken into 3 times, yet he still had the faith and courage to pursue his calling despite the challenges. Patrons heard his survival story at the first ever Youth Fest explosion, hosted by Plymouth's New Testament Church of God. Omadara Mills has the highlights of the event, which sought to positively affect young persons.
At the age of 6, Ronaldo John already knew what he wanted to do when he grew up. Now, 25 years, he is the owner of Rashad's Men's Store, a clothing business catering exclusively to the fashion needs of men. With his business now in its 6th year, he gave an insight into one of his challenges along the way.
One morning, I came to my establishment and I saw my front gate tampered, meaning broken. When I got into my store, I saw nothing there. Then I remembered my pastor, I must make mention, he was so inspirational to me at that time. He said, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. And I took that inspiration and I went on again.
This was the final piece of advice which John shared with the young people about maintaining a high level of success.
Be the best fisherman, the best doctor, the best lawyer, whatever you venture into. And stay focused, stay positive. There would always be the negative. The negative is always less than the positive.
Chief Secretary Avian London encouraged those gathered to take advantage of the opportunities around them. He also encouraged the religious bodies to instill sound morals and values in young Tobagonians.
That commitment and that dedication and that confidence that the young man demonstrated and that pride in self and that resilience that made that young man recover every time that they broke into his store, except we are able to instill those qualities in the vast majority of young and not so young Tobagonians, we in Tobago are going to lose our patrimony.
With the theme Forward Together in Changing Times, the event showcased the dancing and musical talents of several young persons. as well as the work of various entrepreneurs. Here's what the patrons had to say about their experience at Youth Fest 2012.
I'm glad I came because I realized that the things that they have been speaking to us about today are very good for young people these days because of the crime that is happening in the country.
I think the different books can influence youths to get into their own business because they're helping you to know how things work and how you could use it so it will become a daily part of your life.
I am Umudara Mills for the Department of Information.
We take a break.
The Tobago House of Assembly invites you to celebrate 50 years of independence on Friday, 31st August with a military parade starting at the Dwight York Stadium from 8 a.m. The parade will then head towards Scarborough, ending at Gardenside Car Park. Look out for the Chief Secretary's Independence Day address at 6:30 a.m. and fireworks at 8 p.m.
It's now time for a special segment, Have Your Say with Lois Vincent.
Thinking of a career change? Athletics should definitely be an option, as the Tobago House of Assembly rewarded double bronze medalist Lalon Gordon with $300,000 and a parcel of land. Kellyanne Batiste and Seymour Hackett both get $150,000, and Josanne Lucas and Renee Kwao, who were injured while preparing for the games, will receive $50,000 each. What are your thoughts on how the Tobago House of Assembly rewarded our athletes?
I think that what they have got is good, although it's not enough, right? Because you could never give somebody enough to satisfy them, right? And also, what I think also is that more needs to be done for not only the Tobago athletes, but also the athletes in Trinidad as well, right? So that we don't only honor these people when they go and make us proud. We honor them all the time to make sure that they move from one level to the next. And so you could have them develop, not wait until like 2016 to develop their skill, but you have them in training all the time. And so when 2016, we're ready and we can move again.
Whatever they give, they're supposed to be satisfied. I don't see, they never had anything specified before they went. So what again, now they had to be satisfied, that's what I say.
Well, I think it's a good thing. You know, they went and they represent us, so I believe they're supposed to be treated the way they ought to be treated. So I think it's a very good thing that the government did for them.
I think the idea of the THA giving the athletes something is very good. We must give back to our athletes to encourage the others to take part in sports, and we can see what sports can do. At least the highest paid people in the world are athletes, so that's a good gesture.
Well, I actually think that they're being, I guess, adequately compensated. Mr. Gordon did quite well. He made us proud, and perhaps he could be getting a little more recognition. The others have done quite well. I mean, I guess a lot of people were maybe a bit disappointed by what happened, but it's by no real fault of theirs. So it's all together, I think it's all good.
I think it's good that they get something, at least for some kind of a token of appreciation, because they worked very hard to get into the finals. So, yeah, I think it's a good thing that they got something.
Dropping out of school doesn't usually work out well for youths who take that road. That's why the MyLat My Part programs were created. The military-led youth programs have been running for the past 6 years and are specifically geared to young males at risk between the ages of 15 and 20. Members of the program, along with their instructors, recently visited the Chief Secretary while in Tobago. Journeying through some historical sites in Trinidad and Tobago as part of their awareness program, the 6 cadets and 3 instructors stopped off to have a chat with Mr. London. Corporal Joseph of the medical department said that all young men in the country should go through this program.
Since I've been there, I've seen plenty of these young men change their life, change their way of thinking, change their behavioral pattern. And, well, in a medical point of view, the young men and them have grown to be very responsible.
The young men are exposed to drills, map reading and survival training, learn trades such as construction, and in the Milot program are expected to complete academic courses in math, English, social studies and other subject areas. One young man testified about how the program changed him.
I joined Milot because I heard about some fellows who went Milot and they came out good, they came out to trade and they're getting to go into the military force. And when I saw that, that encouraged me to try and better myself because I dropped out of school at a young age. I wasn't doing anything. So I started the Milot program and it changed me. I'm a better person now. I could walk the street and people say, he changed. Look how good he get. And I feel good when people say that about me. And the Milot program really helping me.
At present, the programs can only facilitate young men. However, this young cadet believes that his female counterparts should not be left out.
Young ladies too should get a chance to, do something in life. Because not only young men don't drop out of school, young ladies too.
Mr. London agreed that girls should have the opportunity to benefit from the program.
I accept the fact that males were and maybe still are more at risk than females. But that does not mean that we should not take into consideration the role of the females and the challenges of the females and do something about it.
So far, the program has allowed many of the young men to attain grades 1 and 2 passes in the CXC exams. When you become a public figure, your life becomes an open book. Just ask Chief Secretary over London, who came face-to-face with the young students of the SDA Vacation Bible School. From his favorite food to hidden talents, the inquisitive youngsters threw it all at the chief, including one issue they didn't allow him to sidestep. Sophie Guillaume has more.
I'll tell you that in a little while.
How old are you?
I think I prefer to answer that at this time. Yes.
It's not that Mr. London was evading a question, but it was an opportunity to bring back the teacher in him.
Somebody asked me my age, and the reason why I want to give you a little arithmetic, right? So, well, everybody knows my age. I was born on the 6th of November, 1945. So when you go home, take out your exercise book and work it out.
When you were a child, what did you want it to be?
I think when I was growing up, I wanted to be a teacher. My father was a teacher. My mother was a teacher before she had me. And therefore, I grew up wanting to be a teacher. And I did become a teacher. In fact, I taught for a very long time before I got into politics. So that was my father wanted me to be a preacher. But of course, I didn't go in that direction.
How you get to be the chief secretary?
How did I get to be the chief secretary? Oh, that's a good question. In order to be the chief secretary, you have to go up for an election. So there was an election. I would have won the election in my district. And then when I go to the House, all the people who are elected, they will then select the person whom they want to be the chief.
And then the questions got a bit more personal.
While in VBS, we learned how to cook. And I'd just like to know, what is your favorite food?
My favorite food, I think I'll have to say pea soup. You go cook pea soup? Right. I think that has to be my favorite food.
What special talent or skill do you have that most people do not know about you?
I think because of the fact that I have been in public life for so long, I have most of the things about me everybody knows. Maybe one of the things that they don't know is that when I was younger, I was a pretty good table tennis player, and I also played quite a lot of sport. I played cricket, played a little football. I wasn't very good at it, and I also played some tennis, so that maybe people don't know that I used to play sport.
The chief even granted this little boy his wish.
I wish I could have go on news with you and take a picture.
Oh, you want to go on? Well, you go be on television with me. Come by me.
So we're going on camera together, right? So you get your wish now. Say hello, Tobago.
Hello, Tobago.
Watch it. They say hello, Tobago.
Hello, Tobago.
All right, I had my wish.
I had my wish.
To be on camera with the Chief Secretary. All right, and you have your wish now?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Sophie Guillaume, Department of Information.
Hook, line and sinker, the fish were biting. For 2 days, the shores of Lucivale Beach in Speyside saw more than its usual number of seagoers, not just for the sun and sand, but for the fish. It was all part of the shoreline fishing tournament, which, as Sophie Guillaume reports, went swimmingly.
These are our future fishermen. They can fish, they can swim, and just for fun, they can create sand art. Started 5 years ago, the Shoreline Fishing Tournament aims at heightening children's pleasure and awareness for fishing.
You stay on the shore, you can use casters, you can use fishing rod, you can use a line and hook, just bait hook and line, and just throw it out and bring in your fish.
Well, the shoreline fishing is really, really great. It's a thing I'm looking forward for every August holiday. I love supporting my kids in these events. So I came down here and I decided to register and enter the adult competition. So that's why I'm here on the shoreline today. I caught 8 today. Yesterday I got 15. And as you can see, my lobster is on the beach.
Boys and girls 5 to 10 and 11 to 18, along with an open category for adults, provided an array of prizes for the competitors. Here's a look at the winners.
Today was kind of disappointing because we never caught many fish. Only caught 2. And today the sea nice. Going to bed, going to build this, plenty prizes.
It was good, fine. Maybe I was not using any good size of baits, and it somehow got it off all the time, and just took away the bait. And as I pull it in, no fish.
Sophie Guillaume, Department of Information.
That brings us to the end of another episode of Let's Talk Tobago. I am Avian Parks. Thank you for watching and see you next week.